Hello, good morning, boys and girls. Today for math, we are going to talk about order of operations. I have a couple charts behind me that I will reference during our lesson today. So at this time, think for a moment and raise your hand if you have heard of order of operations. We've done a little work with this in the past, but today I'm going to explicitly teach you some tools that will help you as you navigate equations going forward. So I'm going to stand up and I'm going to take a look at one of our anchor charts behind me. All right, so boys and girls, I know this isn't the best lighting, but at the top, I will go through my first anchor chart. So here I have order of operations as my anchor chart. And I know I'm kind of off to the side. I'm still learning to improve upon my videoing skills. So for order of operations, it's basically a guideline on how to navigate equations and to understand what comes first when you're giving multiple operations. When I say operations, things like multiplying, dividing, and having more than one in a number sentence or an equation, as we call them. And so if you notice, the important part of this anchor chart is to start at the top and work your way down. And so something that in the math world we use to remind ourselves of the steps for solving operations in an equation is to think of PEMDAS. And so some math teachers reference it as that. I also want you to just think P, E, M, D, A, S. So that's where you get the PEMDAS. Okay, so when you see an equation, the first thing you want to solve would be parentheses. Look around and think, do I have any parentheses in my equation? Next, you would want to solve any exponents. For the most part, we will not really reference exponents in our order of operations. As you get into some harder work, I may give some challenge problems with them, but for the most part, I will not give you a problem with exponents in it. So once you've done parentheses, you go to exponents. And an exponent, just so you have that knowledge, would be a digit and then a smaller digit next to it in the corner. And it would look like this. So 2 to the fourth power would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So essentially you're multiplying 2 by itself 4 times. Again, I'm not really going to reference that often in our work together. So after exponents, you'd move down and think, do I have any multiplication or division? Now, these are at the same level because it depends on which comes first in the equation. So if you have multiplication first, you would solve that in your equation. If you had division first, you would solve that in your equation. And what I mean by first is you always work left to right. So you start at the left of your equation and look for any multiplication or division, solve that first, and then you start moving right. This will make a lot of sense once we do our first problem together. After multiplication and division, you then look for addition or subtraction. Again, these are at the same level because you are going to work left to right. So again, you'll look for any addition or subtraction at the left of your equation and solve going right. Okay. I'm going to pause this video and we will have another one to go through a couple examples of order of operations problems. Thanks for listening.